Welcome to each of you this morning, and thank you for joining together today. Month in review, February 2023. Today is the last Monday of the month, and as is our ritual, we review the month's theme and highlights of our yoga practice. So February's theme and studies have all centered around balance amid change. 1, balancing between stability and flexibility of body and steadiness of mind. 2, balance between stillness and exploring. And 3, balance between acceptance and challenge. Your yoga invitation for today: listen and allow my cues to guide you in this month's review. Namaste. We begin with a few moments of centering stillness. In your easy seated pose, whatever serves you best today, begin arriving fully on your mat. And I'm going to invite us to place our palms with open fingers at our heart centers. Relax the elbows, relax the shoulders. The light gazing down or closing of the eyes. So you can gift yourself this moment and begin moving away from the thinking and doing and arrive into being. Invite your spine to awaken. Heart center lifting. Breath expanding. Body centering and stilling. Come home here and open into your practice today. Balance amid change. With our next breath, we'll invite some movement. Let the palms and hands, arms release down. Receive a deepened breath, arms reach out, and just let them circle all the way up. High, high, high above you. A releasing breath, and cascade the arms back down. Fingerprints just touch the mat. Turn the palms up again. Receive a deep breath. Reach up. Releasing of the breath. Cascading the arms all the way back down. One more, please. with our very next breath, we're going to invite our body to stand for our warming segment today. So begin transitioning as you rise up. Turn to the long edge of your mat, please, and just give your body a great big full body stretch, however that would feel good for you. During our warming segment today, we will be reviewing flexibility and stability of body with steadiness of mind. So relax and release the stretch. Let the feet separate a little bit wider than hip width apart now. Freestanding swings. We're going to begin to just move with ease as the arms swing about to the sides. Shoulders releasing. Arms are floating freely from side to side. You might even come to your back body. Deepen into the breath body, please, here. Balance amid change. So there does take stability of body here with the flexibility. And then we start to notice the movements of our mind. Pull the thoughts back to the breath. One more. Back into the center slowly. Bring the feet back together, hip width apart, palms forward. We're going to practice painting the aura. So we receive a deepened breath. The arms reach out again. They gaze up, reach up, lift up. And as you release the breath, let the knees bend. Let the chest draw towards the thighs. Reach the arms forward. Then release the arms and the head down. Maybe the arms come up behind. Maybe they just go down. Release a breath. The arms begin to reach outwards. Receive a breath. Rise up, look up, gaze up, open up. Here we go. Releasing breath. Receiving breath to rise. Releasing breath. Couple more. Begin to open into the practice. Notice how your body can stay balanced with stability and flexibility. And where's the steadiness of your mind as you come back into the center? Back to the mountain pose. Arms rest by the sides. Palms face forward. Feet are planted down solidly. A mountain. Strong, steady, still, unshakable foundation. And we'll do a little standing spinal wave warming practices. As the breath is received, the arms reach out and they rise up. And then interlace the fingers, create the steeple mudra. Index fingers reach up. Releasing of the breath. Start to reach the arms forward. As the arms reach forward, soften the knees. Let the head just bow in between the arms. Reach out through the fingertips. Drop the tailbone down. Oh, beautiful back body opening. Receiving of a breath. Start to reach up. Rise up. Legs stretch out. Eyes gaze up. The steeple reaches up high. Release a breath. Reach forward. So it's kind of a slow motion, soft and gentle, painting the aura here. One more. Rise up and release. As we rise up together this last time, lift up the toes. Still balanced. Soften the fingers. Let the arms open out through the cascade. And when the arms are by the sides, one breath in complete stillness. Next breath, movement. We're going to do a little stretching for the side bodies. The arms circle back out and reach up once again. Now maybe today it's a better practice for your body just to let the hands rest on the hips instead of lifting up. Do what's right for your body. Maybe arms want to stay shoulder width apart. Maybe again you want to create the steeple mudra. Maybe you want to interlace fingers and reach the palms up. Release a breath and just reach over to your right side. Receive a breath, rise back up to center. Release a breath, reach over to the left side. We'll do one more of these. We rise to center. Release a deeper, longer breath and reach a little bit deeper. Stability and flexibility, balancing together. The rising back, the releasing breath. Reach with the releasing breath. And the rising back up to the center. Wherever your hands and arms are, please just bring the arms shoulder width apart, palms facing each other. And then you're going to take your right hand and hold on to the left forearm. Lift that left arm up just a little bit. Muscular energize the right leg. Soften the left knee. Cross the left leg on top of the right leg. Hug the thighs together. Reach up through the left arm again. Stay balanced. And then release the breath. Now reach over to the right side. We're going to take one more breath here. When you release this breath, can you also turn your head over to the left? We rise up together. Micro bend both knees. Pick up that left foot. Plant the left foot down. Now we separate the arms. Left hand touches the right forearm. Reach up. Muscular energize the left leg. Right knee softens. Pick up the right foot. Cross the right leg in front of the left leg. Reach up and release a deep breath. Reach over. One more deep breath. And as you release this breath, can you also turn your head over to the right? And we rise back up together. Good. Soften, micro bend both knees. Pick up the right foot. Plant the right foot down. Open the arms outwards. Muscular energize that left leg again. Reach the arms forward. Come to the tippy toes of your right foot. Now we're going to really focus on stabilizing the sensations of body and the movements of our mind. Okay, a balancing practice. Begin to lift up that right foot. Find your drishti. Fingertips come to the outside, inside of your right thigh. Receive a breath. Let that right knee lift up just a little bit higher. 2 breaths. Toes up, toes down, toes up, toes down. Here we go. Releasing of the fingertips. Reaching the arms out just to the wingspan. Plant that right foot back down. Let the arms circle all the way up. Just a little reprieve. Circle back down. Begin to muscular energize that right leg. Soften the left knee. Come up to the tippy toes. Feel the core engage. Stability. Feel the eyes focus. Stability. And the body is strong and centered. Then begin lifting up the left toes. Fingertips again. Come to the inside, outside left thigh. Receive a breath. Lift up that left knee just another degree. 2 breaths. Toes up. Toes down, toes up, toes down. Release the fingertips. And then release that left foot all the way back down. Here we go. Circle those arms up again. Look up, reach up, gaze all the way upwards. And turn to the top edge of your mat, please. Forward fold. Make it a gentle forward fold. Knees can micro bend. Fingertips touch mat. So bend the knees as much as needed here. And then receive a breath. Now just let the legs stretch out ever so lightly. Release a breath. Soften the knees again. Let the head be free. Receive a breath. Stretch the legs out once again. Release a breath. Knees soften and you step back to a dreamy downward facing dog. Keep it dreamy. Knees stay softened. Walk the dreamy dog. As we prepare to warm into energizing, we're going to review balance amid stillness and exploring. Here we go. Next deep breath. Begin to let the legs stretch out into your downward dog. Reach up through the heels. Release a deep breath. Let both heels travel down to your mat together. A moment in stillness here. And then with next breath, just notice how this stillness gives rise to explore. Here we go. Receiving of the next breath. And softly walk the hands back towards the toes. So the knees will soften or not. It's always the yogi's choice. You're being true to yourself. When the fingers have walked back to the toes, knees soften together, arms reach out. We're going to the fierce pose. Hips drop down, and then the arms circle down, and then the arms reach away. Just do a little bit of lifting of the toes. You know the weight is mostly on the heels, but then plant the toes down and feel the weight shift into some support through the toes as well. Maybe the arms stay reaching. Is the tailbone tucking? Is Mula Bandha engaging? Pause in the stillness. Receive a breath. Let's give rise to exploring. Let's see if we can reach those arms up. Explore through the fingertips, reaching up. Release a breath. We're going to go into a soft forward fold. Keep the knees bent. Arms circle through wingspan. Fingertips touch the mat. Receive a breath. Stretch the legs out. Release a breath. Feel the sensations. Next breath. Let's invite exploring again. Half lift. Fingertips in front of the toes or palms to the shins. Releasing of the breath. Again, knees soften, arms open out. One more of those flows. Pause when you have arms at wingspan level. Knees stay bent, tailbone tucking, Mula Bandha engaging. And explore. Releasing arms, reach the arms forward. Next breath. Let's see if we can explore again. Can the arms reach up today? And releasing breath. Circle the arms back through wingspan. Fingertips touch the mat. Softly stretch out, forward fold. And then both knees bend, hips sink down. Walk the hands back towards the top edge of your mat. Balance amid change, stillness and exploring. Downward dog. We'll do a little low lunge warming into energizing section here. Receiving of a breath. So the left leg is either going to go to split dog and step forward, or you're going to go to tabletop and step that left leg forward. Right knee softly comes down. Top of the right foot comes down. Low lunge. Now we're going to rise. Arms reach back together. Create airplane arms, please. Palms face each other. Shoulder blades draw down. Feel the collarbones broadening. The upper chest opening here. And then release the breath. Arms release. They reach forward. And we rise our body with the arms. The eyes gaze upwards. Releasing of a breath. Is it available to let the hips sink you down? We come back into our center. Now we're going to do a little hamstring stretch with a low lunge. The arms reach forward. Hips shift back towards the right heel. As the left leg reaches out, toes lift up, and then the arms freely circle down, and they rise up behind us in airplane arms. Yeah, this takes some balance and stability and also flexibility, just what we reviewed. And then we pause in stillness. And then we're going to explore again. Release a breath, arms release. Left knee bends. Receive a breath, arms reach forward and rise up. Here we go, releasing of a breath. Reach out through the arms. Reach the hips back. Lift the left toes up. Receive a breath. Bring the arms up behind you. Airplane. One more, please. Move into the breath body. Yeah. Mind is centered with breath and body. So we can give ourselves the best practice available. When we're back into the low crescent lunge, release a breath. Arms release down. Plant the palms to frame the left foot, please. Tuck the back toes under. Lift that back knee up. Step that left leg back to plank. Yeah, that's a beginning of energizing. If the palms are down, the fingers are wide, you feel the back knuckles pressing, the base of the thumbs pressing down, and it's like you're pushing the floor away from your body. Tailbone is tucking, eyes are focused right between the thumbs. Release the breath. Here we go. Explore. Receive a breath. Start to let the hips lift up. You're going to downward dog. Maybe you take a little step in with the feet. Keep the hips reaching high. And then arrive in your downward dog today. One breath in stillness, please. We're ready to explore. A receiving breath. You see how the breath gives us rise? Here we go. The right leg is either going to reach the split dog or you're going to go to tabletop. And you're going to step that right leg forward, left knee comes down, low lunge. Receive a breath, arms reach back again. Create those airplane arms. Feel the collarbones expanding. Shoulder blades releasing down and then release a breath. Here we go. Reach out through the fingertips. Let your body rise. Gazing upwards. Maybe you lean back a little, maybe not. The releasing breath. As the arms reach forward, start to shift the hips back towards the left heel. Right leg stretches out. Right toes lift up. Head bows down, arms reach down, and then the arms lift up behind us. Airplane arms. Notice the stillness. And then we explore. Here we go. Release a breath. Arms release. Receive a breath. Arms reach, rise, body lifts. Release. Reach back the hips. Stretch out the right leg. Create airplane arms. And one more, please. Rising up. And release. And come back into your low lunge. Plant the palms to frame the right foot. Back toes tuck under. Back knee lifts up. Step again back to plank. Now you can always fold the fingers in. Rest onto the knuckles. One more breath. And then explore. We're going to rise the hips up. Reach back your body, creating downward facing dog. A couple more breaths here. So we are prepared now to warm and go into our full energizing sequence today. It begins in downward dog with breath. You find the stillness. So with the next breath, you can explore into change. And we begin again. The left leg either goes to split dog or to tabletop. You're going to step the left leg forward this time into the high lunge. Back knee stays lifted. Arms reach back again here, just like you did in low lunge. Just a little more challenge. Change begins with exploring. As you release the arms and you reach the arms forward, your body rises. You feel the lifting, and then you allow the hips to sink down. Body centered. We're going to open those arms into sun god. Elbows bend. Palms face forward. Fingers wide. Draw the elbows back. Again, opening to the front body. As you receive this next breath, let those arms reach all the way back up again. High crescent lunge. We're going to explore warrior 3. A releasing breath. Arms reach forward. Take a little step in with the right leg. Get that left leg muscular energized. Lift out of the hip socket. Create Mula Bandha. Find your drishti. And then the right toes begin to lift up away from your mat. Breathe. The toes might come down and lift up again. That's okay. That's what balancing is all about. Softly and slowly step back to high crescent lunge. Bending the left knee. Step the right leg back. Rise up through the fingertips. Sink down to the hips. From here, we're going to open to the warrior 2. Releasing breath. Right arm reaches forward. When your fingertips are pointing straight down at your mat, spin on your right foot. Bring that right foot down 90 degrees to the front foot. And then continue. Explore. Lift up the right arm. Release the left arm. Reach out from fingertip to fingertip. Warrior 2. One more breath. And then we're going to very gently begin to transition to the half moon here. So from warrior 2, move into triangle today. Left leg stretches out. Shoulder blades down, hips level, fingertips reaching. Release a breath. Really explore. Explore into the reach. And then pause in the stillness. Notice then how stillness will give rise to the next change. Explore again. Reach out through those fingertips. Right hip releasing. And then release that left arm down. Wherever it softly touches on the left leg. Either above or below the knee. Ankle, foot, or mat. Right hand can always go to the right hip. Right arm can reach out, wingspan. It can lift up. It can begin to reach over towards the right ear. Whole body skill. Breath. Ready for half moon? You might have a block that's nearby that you're going to rest your fingertips on. But wherever you are in triangle, start to gaze down at the left toes. Soften the left knee. Bring that right hand onto the right hip. We're going to keep the hips wide to get into half moon today. So keep them just like they are, wide against the long edge of your mat. When you receive a breath, you start shifting body forward. The right heel comes up. Release a breath. Reach back. Just feel that momentum. And next time you reach forward, take a little step in with that right foot. Now remember, keep the hips open. It's a little bit more of an exploration. Reach the left arm forward, maybe on the block, maybe on the seat of a chair, maybe on the mat or floor, and begin to lift that right leg up. Reach out through the right heel. So the lifting leg is as muscular energized as the standing leg. And again, the toes might come down and lift back up. You might keep the hand on your hip. You might begin to reach the right arm up. Stillness. And as you release the breath, we're going to very gently transition to standing split. So we gaze down at those left toes. We soften, we bend the left knee. We gently circle the right arm down or bring it down. Now the hips are going to close. The hip bones are going to face the top edge of your mat. If your left toes aren't completely facing the top edge, turn that left foot so that the toes are facing the top edge of the mat. You're gazing down. Fingertips are wide out in front of the left foot, just like a tripod. And then you slowly begin to bow. Body bows, right leg lifts. Elbows might bend, elbows might not. Toes might be down on the mat and just barely come up and then go back down. They might lift up a little, stay. One more breath. As you soften the next breath, you soften, you bend the left knee. You slowly bring that right leg down. Now remember, the hips are facing the short edges of your mat, so it should be just fine for alignment. When the right foot has touched the mat, soften both knees. Walk the hands back to frame the feet. Bow the head, forward fold. Let the legs stretch out. Receiving breath, half lift. So now you want to lengthen your spine from tailbone to the very place where it touches the back of your skull. The softness of bending the knees, you plant the palms down. You step the legs back to downward facing dog. Pause for a moment in stillness. And then we're going to really explore, because we're going to honor the birthday girl, Meg, with her pose request. Flip dog or open dog. Maybe you stay in downward dog today. Maybe you just go into split dog with the left leg lifting up and then you bring it back down. Maybe you explore and you continue bending the right knee, pivot on the ball of the right foot. The left leg comes over to the side, the toes touch, and then the left arm reaches up and the body lifts up to the heavens. Flip dog. So practice what's right for you, but explore into something that gives rise to change. Here we go. Gaze down if you're in flip dog. Bring the left arm down. Start to lift up the left foot. Back to split dog. And everybody return downward facing dog. Or go to tabletop if you need a little reprieve like that. And these moments of stillness in downward dog. How does the moments of stillness give rise to explore for you? Get yourself centered in stillness. Really connect with breath, body, alignment. And then be free to explore once again. So let's do that for the opposite side. As we receive a breath, begin exploring again. The right leg is either going to reach to split dog, or you're going to go to tabletop and step that right leg forward. High lunge this time. Keep the left knee lifted up. Powerful, muscular energy through the back leg. And then flexibility. Let the arms reach back, lift up behind you. There's those airplane arms again. Feel the collarbones expanding. And release the arms down. Reach the arms forward. Rise your body to your high crescent lunge. We're going to explore with one more breath. So can you sink the hips? Can you open through the upper body again? The releasing breath. We just let those arms reach out into sun god. So we bend those elbows. We spread the fingers wide, 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 wide. We let the body lean back. Beautiful balance of stability and flexibility. Begin to rise back up, high crescent. Find your drishti. We're going into the warrior 3. Releasing breath. Arms reach and release forward. You have to find a new drishti now because the hips have hinged. Your body has moved. Take a little step in with the left leg. Muscular energize the right leg. And begin exploring. Lifting the left leg up. And the toes might come down. They might lift up again. One more breath. Explore. Releasing of a breath. The right knee softens. We step all the way back to our high crescent lunge. And dollars to donuts, it's not the same as the one you just did. That's the beauty of your practice. Every movement is unique unto itself for the moment. And that's really something to explore into. From our high crescent lunge, we open to the warrior 2. Left arm circles forward. When those fingertips are pointing downwards, plant the left leg down or foot down. Reach the arms out wide. Gaze out proudly over those right fingertips. Warrior 2. Strong, stable, centered with the body, and reaching outwards at the very same time. Notice where breath is. And then we transition to triangle, preparing for half moon. The breath is received. All we do is stretch out that right leg. But then we pause in stillness, and we check in with all of the details of alignment. And then we begin with next breath. We release the breath. We reach out through the right fingertips. So the left hip is just softly reaching back as the right fingertips reach forward. When you bring the right arm down, you find that just right place to gently support. Don't hang out. It's just a soft touch for gentle support. And then the next breath, you notice, does that left hand want to be on my hip? Does the arm want to reach up? Does it want to begin to reach over? And then you find stillness in this. When all effort has ceased, you have arrived in the pose. If you're struggling, you're still struggling. That's not yoga. You move to that limitation, and then you find where body, breath connect. And there you've arrived. So where's your triangle? And let's prepare for our half moon. Breath moves body. We know that. We begin with next breath. We bring that left hand onto the left hip. We gaze down at the right toes. We soften the right knee. Remember, we're going to keep the hips open today. So don't close the hips. Don't let them turn towards the short edge of your mat. Keep them open, please. And begin to lift up that left heel. Rock the body. Just feel the momentum. Yeah. And then with next breath, shift the body forward. Reach the right arm forward. Start to drag the left leg in, or just let it just kind of move inwards. And then as you stretch out the right leg, you let the left leg lift. Hips open to the long edge of your mat. Find that drishti. So the right hand might be on the block, might be on the seat of a chair. It might be on the mat or floor. Left hand might remain onto the hip. It might reach up. Releasing of the breath. Transition. Softly, softly start to bend the right knee. Slowly, slowly circle that left arm down. Now you're going to close the hips. So gently lift up onto the ball of the right foot so that that right foot is really facing to the top edge of your mat. The hip bones are facing the short corners of your mat. Fingers are wide in front of the right foot, just like a tripod. Bow. Let the elbows bend. Stretching out the right leg, lifting up the left leg. Explore. Find stillness. Give rise to explore again. Next breath. And then we very gently start to bend that right knee. Start to slowly bring the left leg down. Go slow. Feel the movements. Walk the hands back, framing the right foot. Step the right leg back, either split dog or downward facing dog. Your choice. Couple breaths here. Yeah. And then we honor the birthday girl with the flip dog for this side. So we know that we're serving our body. So we want to do is to really pay attention where we're exploring into, how we can be in stillness there. And then if we need to come back and go to down dog or tabletop, to honor what is our body's messages today. Otherwise, we're going to begin reaching out the right leg, just a split dog. We can just go back there. Down dog, split dog. Just play with that. If we want to explore a little more, we bend the left knee. We pivot on the ball of the left foot. We let that right foot come over to the side. When the toes touch, the right arm reaches, and we lift the body upwards. Gaze up. You're just on your tippy toes if you're in flip dog. You find one more breath. And then we come back. Gaze down at your mat. Circle the right arm down. Feel the hips shifting. Body facing the mat. And then lift up the right leg back to split dog. Yay! And downward facing dog. Everybody say happy birthday to Meg. Thank you, Meg. Downward facing dog, back to stillness. Even in stillness, you might find there's some exploring that's being felt, because there's a small alignment detail that you reconnect with. Maybe you've forgotten about the breath body and you need to just really focus and explore into one deep, deep, full breath in downward dog. Together, receive a breath. Let's lift the heels up together. Gaze forward. Shift the body a little forward. Come down onto the knees. Tabletop, yeah. We'll begin finishing well together here today as we review acceptance and challenge. From tabletop, we're going to go to forearm, tabletop. Forearms come down to the mat. Remember, for the alignment, you can always touch opposite elbows with hands, ragdoll arms. Or maybe your body knows where that alignment lives now, and you can just feel, yep, my elbows are right below my shoulders. Forearms are down, palms are down, fingers are wide. We're going to do some forearm spinal waves as we receive a breath. We come back home, we release a breath. Tuck the tailbone, open through the back body. So the back body lifts up lightly and the head really bows down. Tuck the chin in towards the hollow of your throat. Receive a breath. Upward wave. Tailbone starts to lift up, and so does the navel. Keep that core stability, and the crown of your head lifts up. So go back and forth, a few more rounds. In yoga, as in life, limitations need to be accepted. And then we balance these limitations with the challenge of growth. One more. Are you dragging the elbows in towards the knees so they stay active? That might be just a little bit of a challenge for you. When you come back into the neutral position, Let the forearms lift. Let the body come back to tabletop. Then we're going to go into a hero's pose or a modified hero's pose. So we start to walk the hands back towards the knees, accepting our limitations. Now, if we notice that the knees are not happy here, that's where our blanket comes into play. We bring the blanket right behind us and sit on that. Or we bring our block and we bring that and we sit onto that. It's got many levels, so we make it right for us. Or maybe the hips come down towards the heels. So we find home here. And then maybe we want to challenge this today. So we're going to give ourselves a little toe stretch opportunity. Please walk the hands forward in front of the knees. Release the hips away from the heels. Tuck the toes under now. Now start to walk the fingers back towards the knees and the hips sink down towards the heels. Now maybe you know that this is a limitation that is not even available for you today. Accept that. And then go back to what does work for your hero's pose today. One more breath here. And then we're going to let our body just bow forward. So we're going to open the arms outwards. We're going to bring the arms behind us. And we know we have choices, always, always. Choices make accepting our limitations gentle for us. So we know if we create and make the right choice, we'll accept what's happening. And then we can begin to grow with challenge. So maybe the hands are in reverse ragdoll. Maybe one hand is just holding an opposite forearm. Maybe the palms are touching, fingers are interlaced. Whatever your choice is, focus and broaden the collarbones out. So we want to open the front body. Head stays in line with the spine. So we're not gazing up, we're not looking down, we're right in the middle. There's the Goldilocks yoga. And then we're going to bow forward from wherever you are here. Begin releasing the breath. Just allow your chest to move towards the thighs. Then you bow the head. Let it grow heavy. Let it be free. Maybe the hands and arms stay on the back body. Maybe they begin to reach away from the body and begin to lift up. Accepting our limitations. And then challenge into growth. Here we go. We're going to come back up together. The breath is received. The head begins to lift. The torso begins to lift. We return right back to where we were. And do one more, please. Receive a breath. Open. Release a breath. Bow. You might pause in that stillness. And then explore with next breath into the movement. You might notice where the steadiness and the flexibility of body are balancing together. And then you notice, am I accepting my limitations right here, right now? And if that's true, then how can I grow with the next challenge? We'll rise together. The gentle lifting of the head, the torso lifts. Wherever the arms are, they release gently down. Relax the hands and arms. Reach the arms lightly forward. Just make a couple little wrist circles. And then plant the palms onto the thighs and make just a couple little shoulder circles. Both directions, please. Pause. Receiving breath. Begin to move your body, transitioning to the supine pose. Yeah. So we know in supine that we always have the knees hip width apart, feet planted on the mat, hip width apart. We support the body rolling down, hands on the legs somewhere, or we roll the body down, soft and easy. And today, when your back body is onto the mat, stretch the legs out. Reach the arms overhead and give your body a full body stretch, just like we began our practice today, only in standing. From this whole big body stretch, come back to the middle, the center, and pause. And then begin to bend both knees, planting the soles of the feet on the mat, hip width apart. Circle the arms down by your sides. Receiving of a breath, pick up both feet, please, and as you release a breath, give yourself a little gentle hug. Hug the thighs towards the chest, or maybe the knees towards the armpits. We'll all come back into the center. Release the right hand from the right leg and just stretch out that right leg right in midair. Not so it's lifted up, but so that the leg is perpendicular or parallel with the mat. Reach out through the right heel. Hug the left thigh in. Oh, here we go. Release a breath. Bending of the right knee. Hug the right thigh in towards the chest as you reach out that left leg. Reach out through that left heel. Hug the right thigh in one more degree. Accepting limitations. And then balance those limitations and begin to grow into challenge. Here we go. Back to double thigh hug. Now we're going to release both hands. Keep the hug best you can without supporting or reaching in with the hands and arms. Arms are going to open out to wingspan. Lightly lift the back of the head away from the mat. Keep the chin tucked. Bend the elbows, interlace your fingers, and let the palms of your hands rest on the back of your head. Thumbs are pointing down alongside your neck. And then release the head down. So now they're resting in the palms of your hands. Elbows are out and the thighs are hugging in. We're going into a supine twist from here. Begin with breath. As you release the breath, just both knees release over towards the right side. Receive a breath. Come back to center. Here we go. One more. Release a breath. Both knees release over to the right side. Come back to center. So now we know where our limitations live here. We got a little better sensation of where the movement can lead us. So challenge your growth. Balancing your limitations. Got it? Big, deep receiving breath. Full, deep, releasing breath. The knees begin to release over to the right. You might pause in stillness to receive a breath and then release and move again. You might keep breathing with the movement. Head might stay in center. Head might turn over to the left side. Now notice your elbows. Now if the left elbow has started to lift away from your mat or floor, then bring the knees back because we want to balance the flexibility of hips to shoulders. So the elbows stay on the mat or floor as the knees travel. Once an elbow comes up, then we honor that limitation. And we let the knees lift back up so we stay there and breathe there. When you're in your fullness of this pose, 2 breaths. Then we'll come back to center together. With the next breath, the left knee lifts lightly, and then it's followed by the right knee. We feel the body shifting back to center. Receive a breath in center. Release a breath. Just let both knees release over towards the left side. Come back to center. Here we go again. A releasing breath. The knees release over to the left side. And then they come back to center. Now we know our limitations again. We can kind of feel what's available here. So we continue. We challenge and grow. Here we go. Releasing of a deep, deep, long, long breath. Knees begin releasing over to the left side. You might pause in stillness to receive a breath and then release a breath and move again. You might just keep breathing and moving. But remember, once that right elbow starts to lift away from the mat or floor, you bring the knees back so you stay balanced. Flexibility, hips to shoulders. And the head might stay neutral. It might start turning to the right. When you're in the full expression here, 2 deep breaths. Explore, challenge, grow. Back to center, receiving breath. The right knee comes back just a little bit. Then is followed by the left knee. Head returns to center if it turned. Lift up the back of the head. Let the hands and arms help lift the back of the head. Keep the chin tucking in towards the hollow of your throat. Release a breath. Now let the elbows draw towards each other and see if you can hug. Elbows in towards the knees and keep the head really bowing down. Receive a breath. Release that little hug. Let the body release. We're going to slide the fingers apart now. Open the arms out to the wingspan and begin to elevate both legs together with or without support. Preparing our body for Shavasana. So with the next releasing breath, begin to gently transition to Shavasana. The knees will bend. One leg will come down to the mat softly. Other leg softly comes down. We allow the feet to fall apart. Arms falling away from the sides of our body. Palms facing upwards. Shavasana. Our Shavasana reading today is a summary of this month's theme, balance amid change. We've practiced balancing flexibility and stability of body and steadiness of mind. Balance between stillness and exploring. Balance between acceptance and challenge. gently draw your awareness to that place between your eyebrows and expanding that awareness into your space, wiggling through your toes, perhaps ankles, the wiggling through your fingers, maybe wrists. As we gently place the left palm at our heart center, right palm across our belly, nourishing our body with several deep, refreshing breaths. And invite your next breath to awaken you as you give your body a full, big stretch. And we gently let the knees bend, turning onto our right side. And begin rising into your seated pose. In our easy seated poses with our Anjali Mudra, we begin bowing forward, thanking our body for the movements available today, and thanking ourselves for showing up on our mat today. We rise together. And in closing, may the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within guide your way home. Namaste. Please do unmute yourself. Say goodbye to your fellow yogis.